Hey, what is going on? It is 12 noon on Wednesday, which means it's time for this week's episode of Ask the Instructor. My name is John Charismo, and the show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate, where today we're talking about one of our core values that is one of the most important concepts for really growing something bigger than yourself. If you want more than just some sort of job, if you really want to build a real estate empire, the only way you're going to be able to do that is to keep things simple. At least to start out. Things always inevitably begin to become more complicated. But if we constantly focus on simplifying and reducing, making things easier, more efficient, more streamlined, keeping it simple, or really to put it simply, it's amazing how much you can actually accomplish. So we're going to be talking about this today from a lot of different perspectives. For those of you that are taking the pre-licensing course, you know, it can get really overwhelming trying to learn everything that's taught in that course. And simply put, it's not required that you learn everything in the course. Not to the extent where you need to know it for tests, not to that level where you need to apply it in the exam scenario. A lot of the stuff that's in your course is information that you need to know, but is not going to be as heavily tested on the exam. So in order to accomplish that objective, passing your exam, it's important to keep things simple. Not to study the stuff that's not important for your exam, but to study the stuff that's most important for your exam. And we'll talk about a little bit about that. But then also when you're starting your real estate career, there's a lot of information out there. You could very quickly get overwhelmed with information. It's not about getting all the information that you possibly can. It's about getting the right information. And to keep things simple, if that's ultimately your goal, to keep things simple, you want to find that information that is going to be the most relevant to what it is that you're doing right then and there. So what we're going to be walking through really is kind of just all different stages of your real estate career, from when it is that you're first thinking about getting started in real estate, taking your course, getting your license, all the way up to starting your business and then running your real estate business, maybe even growing your real estate business into maybe some larger team or some larger organization, maybe starting your own brokerage, but how keeping it simple is important in every one of those steps. I'm really excited to bring today's show to you today. Like I said, this is one of our core values at the Tampa School of Real Estate. This is how we teach our courses, how we build our study tools, with the idea to keep things simple as we could make them. Life isn't always simple, but it could always be made simpler. We could always simplify. We could always make things easier. That takes work, though, and not everyone is always willing to do it. So we're going to be talking about the importance of that and some easy ways that you could simplify all the way from starting your course to getting your real estate license to building your real estate business. So stick with us. I'm John Charismo. You're watching Ask the Instructor.
You are watching Ask the Instructor. Absorb the knowledge. Become the expert.
Hey, welcome back to this week's episode of Ask the Instructor, where today we're talking about keeping it simple. So this concept is something that it's near and dear to my heart, because I've realized how not only does this make life easier, now it's more difficult figuring out the simple. To figure out how to make things simpler, that's going to cost you. That's going to cost you time, money, and energy to simplify. That's from all my years of trying to simplify things, that is what I've realized. Simplification is going to be one of three things: time, money, or energy, or some combination of those items. So how do we keep it simple? Well, let's talk about, again, some specifics. Let's say you're getting your real estate license. So getting licensed, what is that objective? Well, there it is right there in front of you, getting licensed. That is the goal. That is ultimately what you're trying to do. And until you do that, nothing else matters. So to keep things simple, if you don't do this, it doesn't matter how many houses you could sell. It doesn't matter how much money you could make, how many buyers you could help, how many sellers you could help. It doesn't matter how much of that you could do, how great you could be in real estate if you don't accomplish this first objective. So to keep it simple, we've got to hone in on what's important right now. Because if we focus on what we've got to do to sell 100 houses in a year, but we don't even have a real estate license yet, well, that's not going to get us anywhere that's going to be worthwhile, because we won't legally be able to make any money. Otherwise, we'll go to jail for 5 years if we don't have a real estate license. So keeping it simple, we got to get the license. Don't lose sight of that as you're going through the licensing process. A little exercise, a little icebreaker activity we typically do in our instructor-led classes is, at the beginning of the classes, we like to ask, why are you getting your real estate license? What is it that you're doing here? What are you doing in this class? I mean, yeah, we're cool people, but I'm sure you didn't pay just to hang out with us. Or maybe just because you want to learn a little about real estate. There's probably some objective, some goal that you're trying to accomplish. And if it really is you're just trying to learn, it's just you don't know what that goal is yet. But whatever that goal is that you're wanting to get your real estate license for, that is separate than the process to get your real estate license. The process of you getting your real estate license isn't going to teach you how to accomplish whatever that goal is. It's going to give you a seat at the table so you can accomplish whatever that goal is. And there's a lot of different things you could do with your real estate license, from just earning some referral money on the side, to working part-time in real estate, all the way to being a full-time agent, being a top producing team. There's so much you could do. You could work in residential, commercial, industrial, agricultural. You could be a business broker. That's all a real estate license works for that. You could sell new construction. You could sell regular old homes. There's a lot you could do with your real estate license, but again, none of that matters until you accomplish this objective. So what's really important? If we're going to keep it simple and try to simplify this process and make it easy, what's important? Well, what's really important is passing the exam. That's usually what's most important, because the rest of the process everyone really can usually get through, and that's not usually so painful. Taking the course, that's probably the next most difficult thing next to passing the exam, but very doable. We try to make them entertaining. We try to make them enjoyable, as well as informative. The application, that's easy. The fingerprinting, that's easy. Quick, easy little things. So really what it comes down to, the big hurdle that you've got to get over to keep it simple, again, to hone in on that one thing so we're not overcomplicating stuff and getting involved in too much too quickly, is we've got to pass the exam. That is our goal, to pass the exam. Because if we get past our exam, we will get licensed. We will have our real estate license as soon as we pass our state exam. You only take your state exam after you've completed all those other steps leading up to it, like taking your course, doing your application, your fingerprints, and so on and so forth. But once you do finally pass that big, intimidating exam, you've got a real estate license. So to keep it simple, this is what you need to focus on. And what's important to remember here is you don't need to know everything. First off, no one knows everything of real estate, not even myself, believe it or not. I know a lot about real estate, but I don't know everything about real estate. I actually learn new things about real estate every single day. And you could talk to some of the most experienced real estate professionals, and they'll tell you the exact same thing. So passing your exam, it's not about knowing everything, because you can't know everything. So let's cross that off the list, because there's no way you can know everything there is to know about real estate. But let's say, well, I just want to know everything that's in this course, that's in, this book right here, that's in this information. It's only like 500-600 pages. I just want to know all of that. Sounds like a good idea until you actually try to learn and know and remember all of that. And then you realize all of that is a little too much. So for those of you that are perfectionists, that are striving to really be the best you can be, to do everything exactly right, every single T crossed, every I dotted, everything in line, those are great qualities for organization, for making sure that your business stays running. But when you're actually trying to get past this exam, trying to know every last little detail, will quickly end up with what's called paralysis by analysis, where you end up getting paralyzed because you've just got so much information you don't even know what to do with all that information. So to avoid that, you got to keep it simple. You don't need to know everything. You want to focus on application of the key points. So focusing on the application of key points. There's certain key points in the course that you need to remember, not all of them. I mean, right in your textbook, it's got like a little summary of important points. There's all kinds of things that are bolded and highlighted. If you have our MP3 audio review, our MP3 audio review is our way of keeping it simple, of simplifying down what are the key points, so you just listen to them on repeat. You don't have to go figure them out on your own. You just listen to them and you drill those key points into your head again and again and again and again and again and again and again. So you focus on knowing the key points, and then, talking about our exam prep tools, our question simulator is a great tool to help keep it simple for the application of those key points, because that's what you've got to test yourself with. That question simulator is not a tool that you use to study and memorize. That's a tool that you use to test your application of the key points that you studied and memorized from the MP3 audio review, or however it is that you're using this strategy through the course material. Again, reinforcing the key points, that's what the key things are that you need to remember, the simpler key points, and then being able to apply them. In a scenario. And look, this is actually the exact same thing you do after you have your real estate license. You take this knowledge you have about real estate and you need to now apply it to an individual client. So it's the exact same process. You're just doing it with some more theoretical information that's in your pre-licensing course and more theoretical scenarios that you have on your exam. But that's the key points that you're applying. And then when it comes down to real estate, you take the things it is that you know about, say the contracts and showing properties and so on and so forth, and you apply the important, relevant information to your client. You don't want to overwhelm them with everything. You want to tell them about what's relevant to them. You got to keep it simple. So look, we're going to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to talk more about keeping it simple, but we're going to focus more now on after you have a real estate license. So for all of you guys out there that already have a real estate license, or if you're about to get one, this is some of the stuff after you have a real estate license that's going to be important to keep things simple, to keep things going, to keep your real estate business growing. So stick with us. I'm John Christmo. You're watching Ask the Instructor. Are you studying for your Florida real estate exam? If you are, you need to check out our Pass First Try strategy. You're going to love this. It's 4 steps that we break down the process to study for your Florida real estate exam. So you're set up to pass your Florida real estate exam, because that's what you're studying for, right? To pass your exam. It's 4 steps. Number 1, you learn the information. You've got to learn this to be able to pass the exam, but it doesn't stop at learning. Step 2, you've got to reinforce the basic, simple, key concepts. As you learn this information, keep reviewing the simple things. You don't need to know everything, but you got to review these basic key concepts. Step 3, you've got to test your knowledge. The exam's going to test your knowledge, so if you don't test your knowledge in advance, you won't find out if you know what you think you know until you take the exam. And then step 4 is be confident and prepared, because even if you know this material, you need to be confident that you know the material. Check out the full strategy at passfirsttry.com. That's passfirsttry.com. And welcome back to this week's episode of Ask the Instructor. My name is John Christmo, and this show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate. We're here every single Wednesday at 12 noon Eastern Time to help you keep it simple. I mean, that's why we do these shows here. You could go out there and go through all different places. There's tons of videos on YouTube. So that's really a great point I want to make today. So there's a lot of information out there. We used to live in the information age. Now we live in the misinformation age. One way or another, one way or another, with most topics, there's usually at least 2 perspectives on pretty much all topics out there, if not multiple perspectives, including on how real estate is practiced, let alone more sensational topics that might be out there on the internet. But let's just talk about, passing your exam, practicing real estate. There's a lot of different opinions. So what's important is that you have information that is the most relevant to you practicing real estate where you're practicing real estate, with the laws that you have to abide by in your state, to all the information, again, that might be more locally specific as opposed to worldwide generic type of information. Or maybe, some of the things might work in maybe a higher price market, but not in a lower price market, or vice versa, where something works in a lower price market, but not necessarily in a higher price market. So how do you manage all this once? And let's even rewind back before we even get back into growing your business. Let's talk about, you just got your real estate license. You pass your exam, and then what? Because you might feel like you don't know what to do. You're not sure. So how do you keep it simple? How do you avoid the mistakes that others might already have made? I know I made a lot of mistakes when I started my real estate career. So I tell a lot of the stories here on these shows of the things that I did when I got my real estate license, and I laugh about them now. But honestly, when I was doing those things, they were terrible, bad habits that I should not have been doing. Or maybe not even necessarily bad habits, but I didn't really just even have anybody showing me what to do. And part of it was my own fault, because people told me I should do this as soon as I got my real estate license. But like most people with a real estate license, they get a real estate license. I was like, I don't see the benefit in that. I don't see the value. I don't really need that. It's probably just like my pre-licensing course all over again. No. Had I taken my post-licensing course immediately after I got my real estate license, it would absolutely help me keep things simple. Now, how? How does it do that? How does it help you keep things simple? Have you ever heard the phrase, you don't have to reinvent the wheel? Well, that's what your post-licensing is about. So all of the basics that somebody might need to know, having just got their real estate license, having known what they would have known, having gone through the pre-licensing course, which is going to cover a lot of information, but again, to be upfront and direct, that's not information that's going to teach you how to sell millions of dollars in real estate. It's where you start out, but the objective of your pre-licensing course is passing your state exam, getting your real estate license. So it's going to teach the information. It's actually required. It's required by the FREC that we teach the information that's relevant to the exam. So there's actually a defined syllabus that we have to teach in that pre-licensing course. Your post-licensing course, however, on the other hand, we do not have that specific predefined syllabus from the Florida Real Estate Commission. Now, our courses must still be approved by the Florida Real Estate Commission for credit. However, we have more flexibility over the curriculum that we offer through our post-licensing. And post-licensing is really meant to be about what information do you now need that you have a real estate license. The basics, but the business basics. Of where do you get your first clients from? How do you submit your first offer? How do you follow up with clients? How do you stay in touch with people? The post-licensing course isn't going to teach you everything. There's no one course out there that's going to teach you everything. Matter of fact, it's, again, probably impossible to know everything there is to know about real estate. So having that all in one course, that's obviously not out there. So it won't teach you everything, but it's going to get you started with the basics of what you need to know, the fundamentals of how real estate is practiced. And this is the big thing that usually scares people away. It scared me away is that it's a requirement. Not specifically our post-licensing course or any one course in general, which again, given that they have different curriculums because there isn't a specific syllabus like there is with pre-licensing, meaning that there's different things you might learn depending on where it is that you take that course, of what school and what curriculum it is that you're taking of that post-licensing. And again, this is a requirement. Not that, again, that you take ours specifically, but you take a post-licensing course. As a matter of fact, that you've got to take a 45-hour post-licensing course. 45 hours of courses that qualify for your post-licensing credit. And they are specific courses because the courses ultimately need to focus on information that's relevant to somebody who has a real estate license. So it's not going to focus as much on the information about what laws and rules you need to know to get your real estate license. That's more about what your pre-licensing is. That's what I thought when I got my real estate license. When I got my real estate license, I studied my butt off because I took a practice test and I realized I didn't know as much as I thought I'd know, just kind of skating through the class. And I realized that if I were to go take the real exam, if it's anything like the practice exam, I'm going to fail with flying colors. So I didn't want to do that. So I went and busted my butt and studied like crazy. I'd never really studied before, so that was difficult. But I went through and I figured it out. And there's a bunch of things I learned that worked and doesn't work when it comes to studying. But eventually I was able to go and take that exam, and I did pass that exam on the first try. And so after all this work I put in to pass the exam, you bet the last thing I wanted to do was take another FREC required course, because I thought it would be exactly the same. I thought it was going to be the exact same process where I would take another course and do all this other studying and maybe even take another state exam, but really, there's not a state exam. There's no state exam. There is an end of course exam, but the content that's covered in your post-licensing course, again, is going to be much more real world and much more relevant. I'm very proud of the curriculums it is that we have here at the Tampa School of Real Estate, because again, it's going to really hone in on what you need to know. That's, some of this stuff you might already know. If you've already ran a business, if you've already been in sales, if you've already done any sort of real world real estate transactions, you'll absolutely find some familiar information in here. But I don't care how long it is that you've been practicing real estate, taking this post-licensing course, there's absolutely information you could take away from it that will benefit and grow your real estate business. And this is how you keep it simple. You go and find the information, you find the instructions. Think of if you were to put together, something like from IKEA. People always complain about like stuff from IKEA or these little furniture stores that sell stuff in these little boxes. Maybe you order something off of Amazon and it comes in these boxes where it's like 1 million pieces and you got to put them all together. I'm the type of person who, maybe I've got a split personality, because sometimes I'll just do away with instructions and just start piecing together. Maybe I just get a little too eager. But ultimately, I know, and actually this is probably why I look at the manual today, just because I've had so many mistakes in my past. This is who it's made me today. That's not who I am naturally. Naturally, I'm the person who's just going to start picking up furniture pieces and putting them together and hope it turns into a couch or whatever it's supposed to be. However, after much experience with that haphazard approach to trying to put something together like that, I realized I need instructions. I need step-by-step of what to do when. And you know what the worst part is? The part that's most frustrating when you're putting together some piece of furniture, a chair, a desk, whatever it might be, when there's just one step that you do wrong. And you do that one step wrong, and now the whole thing's all thrown apart. You got to take the whole thing apart to get all the way back to that one piece that you put in backwards, and then you put it all back together. I can't tell you how many times I've done that, even when I have been following the instructions, probably because I wasn't reading them too closely. But the point is, if you do not have instructions, it's going to end in disaster. Your post-licensing course, again, it's not going to tell you everything. It's not going to teach you everything. But one of the first things we actually do is help you build a business plan of what are your goals and objectives that you have to accomplish with your real estate business? How long do you want to achieve that in? And what is it that you've got to do? What do we calculate? What are the calculated actions that we must take? How many people must we reach? How many appointments must we go on? How many meetings must we have? How many contracts must we have to get to our ultimate income goal? That's one of the first things you do in our post-licensing course is business planning, because that's essential to the future of your real estate business. So if you want to keep things simple, have a plan that you could follow. Because if you just start picking up the phone every time somebody's calling you from Zillow or whatever marketing agency or whatever broker is reaching out to you with whatever plan of how you could make money if you do whatever it is that they say, first off, if it's not your plan, it's probably not going to benefit you the most. If you've got your plan that's going to benefit you the most, and now you want to find a broker or whatever businesses align the most with what your plan is. Whereas if you don't have a plan, if you don't have a plan of action, you will not be able to keep things simple because you don't have a simple plan to follow. You end up just being kind of pushed in whatever direction the world, the universe, whatever it is you want to look at it is pushing you into. And sometimes that'll push you into a corner that you don't want to be in. If you're getting into real estate to have freedom, to have control, to be in charge, that's where you want to have a plan. So you could work your plan. And that will help you keep things simple, and it'll help you achieve success faster. So much faster than if you just try to go into this figuring it out on your own, falling over and making mistakes. Because that's how I started in real estate. I started by falling over on my face, making mistakes because I didn't want to take this course. And when I eventually did, I kicked myself because I realized, now 2 years later, right when my renewal deadline is, doing it at the last minute, that I'm rushing through this course, but I'm realizing, wow, all this stuff would have been really beneficial and really useful for me to know back when I was trying to figure out how to sell real estate. I wish I would have just took this course. So that's post-licensing, and again, that is a requirement for your renewal. It's 45 hours of course, and that's not necessarily full 45 hours. If you're doing our self-paced program, it's really however quickly you get it done, and if you're doing our instructor-led courses, it's not a full 45 hours because of the whole FREC rule about how long they think an hour is. It's not 60 minutes. We won't go into the details, but if you need more info on post-licensing, check out our website, but we're going to take a quick commercial break. Stick with us. We'll be talking more about keeping it simple after this. Have you completed your post-licensing education yet? Look, I know you're probably thinking, hey, it's not my renewal deadline. I don't need to do post-licensing yet, but look, here's why you want to do post-licensing as soon as you've got your real estate license, as soon as you're able to take post-licensing. It's not just another course about arbitrary laws that you're never going to use again. It's about real-world, usable topics that'll help you grow your real estate business, to help you take it to the next level. Look, let me ask you this one question. If this course helps you close just one deal, if you get one extra deal from post-licensing, is it worth the investment? I'd say it is. We get paid pretty well, so one deal means a lot of money. Check out postflorida.com. That's postflorida.com for the full details about post-licensing. Hey, welcome back to this week's episode of Ask the Instructor. My name is John Carismo, and today we're talking about keeping it simple. That's one of our core values here at the Tampa School of Real Estate, and the reason why is because anybody could make something complicated. It's not difficult to make something complicated. The world is just complicated as is. It does not need any further complication. So anytime we're not trying to simplify and make things easier, those complications will grow bigger and grow into a larger concern. So we want to actively go out of our way to always try to simplify, always make things easier, always try to keep things simple, because when we keep things simple, it's easier to get done. We could do more faster, it's less stressful, it's more entertaining, it's more engaging, it's just better when things are easy. And now how do we get to things being easy? Well, we have to figure out how to make it easy. And again, there's all kinds of different things you could do. It's usually involving an investment of time, money, and energy in some degree or another. Courses are a great example, like your post-licensing course, a great example of helping you simplify down of what you need to know to actually make some money in your real estate with your real estate license. And again, it's a requirement, so let's just keep this simple, get it done right out of the way so you've got that information at the ready. So now any further training you do with your broker from the Association of Realtors or any other deeper sales training you might do, it's going to make more sense because you already mastered these pillars, these basic, these fundamentals in your post-licensing course. But then other ways you could also keep things simpler, as well as even, again, just by taking a step back and looking, what could you have done differently in the future? As you're going through this, I could sit here from today, and we have the benefit here at Tampa School of Real Estate that we've done this before when it comes to starting a real estate career, to getting your real estate license, to all these things it is that we're here to help you to do. And that expertise is valuable, which is why people are willing to exchange money with us for our expertise. And that's exactly what you do with your real estate license. You're providing experience, expertise, knowledge, understanding. And it's not just knowing the bare minimum. It's never really just knowing the bare minimum. What happens is you've got to know a lot to distill down to a little. And that's why people are willing to pay professionals to help them. Why they're willing to pay a real estate professional 6-7% commission to help them sell their house, because they don't know how. They don't want to mess it up. They want to keep it simple and just pay somebody to do it for them. And there's a lot of things you could do with your business where there's services that could do things for you. And at some point, you might have to keep your business simple by outsourcing something like that. But before you even get to that point, if you're just starting out your real estate business, getting these courses done as quickly as possible, getting your license as quickly as possible, not dragging that out, that's going to help keep this simple, that's going to help keep this easy, and that's when it's going to help keep you moving forward to growing your real estate business. So look, that's about all the time it is that we've got for today. If you have any further questions, definitely, absolutely give us a call, 813-333-2676. Again, that's 813-333-2676. We have advisors standing by to answer any questions you have and assist you in any way it is that we can. So definitely, absolutely give us a call. You can text us. We've got a chat on our website. Let's see what else. There's all kinds of ways you can send us a smoke signal, a letter in the mail. Stop by our office here in New Tampa if you like. Or again, you can just pick up the phone. That's the easy way. Or check us out online at tampaschool.com. We've got lots of information, and it could be very easily be overwhelming. So if you need help, sifting through any of this, finding whatever is most relevant, or helping you understand what's really most important for you and what stage it is that you're at in your real estate career, whether you're just starting or maybe you're thinking about opening your own brokerage, whatever the case may be, give us a call. Let us help you understand that process better and help connect the dots with what's most important. So that's all we've got for today. Thank you guys for tuning in. Again, 813-333-2676. We'll be here on Friday for State of Real Estate. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you.
The most powerful tool to study for your real estate exam is the Question Simulator from Tampa School of Real Estate. We've used our years of experience in preparing students for the Florida real estate exam to bring you the most powerful exam study tool available. In the Question Simulator, you'll be able to go directly to a particular unit so you can focus on the sections where you need the most practice. We have also included the percentages of each unit so you know which units are the most important for your real estate exam. Every question will immediately give you detailed feedback, which is almost always more important than the question or the answer themselves. After completing all the questions in a particular unit, you can go through question by question and review any that you've gotten wrong. You could also print out a report at the end of each quiz. The Question Simulator from Tampa School of Real Estate is 100% mobile compatible, so you can practice with test questions anywhere you have your phone with you. Enroll now at questionsimulator.com and get ready to pass your exam.
Hey, so if you're thinking about starting a real estate career, it could feel a little overwhelming sometimes. Look, that's completely understandable. That's why we're here to help. If you haven't already, check out our Success Center, tampaschool.com/success. Or if you don't even know where to begin, give us a call. We'd love to help you out. We've got advisors standing by to answer any questions you have and assist you in any way it is that we can. Our phone number is 813-928-0106. Again, that's 813-928-0106. Give us a call. We're the Tampa School of Real Estate.
Do you want a career that allows you to be in control? With a career in real estate, you'll get to call the shots. Whether you're looking at starting part-time or want to become the next top agent, a career in real estate makes it possible. Find out what it takes at tampaschool.com. Do you want to incorporate studying for your real estate exams into your busy schedule? Now you can review the key topics you need to know to pass your class and state exams with our MP3 audio review. Simply pop in your headphones or connect to your car to reinforce crucial information while you exercise or drive. Listen to the first unit for free at mp3audioreview.com. That's mp3audioreview.com.
Are you thinking about a career in real estate? Hey, I'm John Chrisma with the Tampa School of Real Estate, and we've helped thousands of people just like you obtain their real estate license. If you're thinking about a career in real estate, give us a call. The phone number is 813-928-0106. Our advisors are standing by to answer any questions you have and assist you in any way they can. Hey, if you're enjoying the show today, which I'm sure you are, be sure to hit like, subscribe, post your comments, share with your friends and family. Thank you guys so much for watching.
You are watching Ask the Instructor.